Imagine this. You're sitting in your living room, scrolling through your phone, when an emergency alert flashes across your screen. A missile has been launched toward the United States. Estimated time to impact? 18 minutes. No one knows who fired it, no one knows why, and the government has less than 20 minutes to decide whether to retaliate or risk total destruction. That's the world Kathryn Bigelow drops you into with her new thriller, A House of Dynamite. It's not a horror movie, but it might be one of the most terrifying things you'll ever watch. Because unlike ghosts or monsters, this story is built on reality, one that could unfold any day. The film starts with the launch of a single missile aimed straight at the U.S. From that moment, the clock starts ticking. The story plays out 3 times, each from a different level of government, showing how chaos and confusion spread as the countdown continues. Every version reveals something new. Panic inside military command centers, conflicting information pouring in from defense systems, and the agonizing truth that no one really knows how to stop what's coming. The same 18 minutes repeat, not because time resets, but because each layer of power is as powerless as the one below it. By the end, you're left asking the same question they are. What would you do with 18 minutes left? Kathryn Bigelow doesn't hand the audience an easy answer. The film ends before we see what decision the president makes. We never find out if the missile hits Chicago, and that's what makes it even more unsettling. You leave the theater desperate for some reassurance that it's all just a movie, that this could never happen in real life. But here's the thing, it could. Because A House of Dynamite isn't an exaggerated fantasy. It's a reflection of how fragile the real nuclear system actually is. The title itself comes from a haunting line spoken by the U.S. president. We built a house filled with dynamite. And the truth behind that line? It's not fiction. It's the world we live in. Bigelow explained in an interview that right now, 9 countries on Earth possess nuclear weapons. Together, they control over 12,000 warheads. Just 3 of those countries are part of NATO. The rest operate on their own terms, guided by their own leaders and their own ideas of what defense means. Bigelow called that balance fragile, and she's right. Because if even one of those weapons were launched, we wouldn't be talking about days or hours before impact. We'd be talking about minutes. Around 25 minutes to be exact. That's how long it would take a Russian missile to hit the U.S., or vice versa. And if it's launched from a submarine positioned in the ocean, the window shrinks even smaller. 18 minutes suddenly doesn't sound cinematic. It sounds terrifyingly realistic. Here's the part most people don't realize. If a missile is launched at the United States, the president has to decide whether it's real, whether it's accidental, and whether to strike back, all in a matter of minutes. The Union of Concerned Scientists says that political and military leaders would have almost no time to verify the attack. They'd have to trust early warning systems that have failed before. Imagine the pressure of knowing that a single mistake, one wrong call, could end the world. That's not just movie tension, that's the real process. The president doesn't need approval from Congress or even their advisors to respond. In a real launch scenario, it all comes down to one person, one moment, and one decision that can't be undone. And if you think the systems in place could stop an incoming missile, think again. The film uses the phrase, like hitting a bullet with a bullet, to describe America's missile defense systems. And that's not a metaphor, it's an accurate comparison. The U.S. has spent decades developing interceptors that can destroy incoming warheads. But even the experts admit that it's close to impossible to get it right every time. Noah Oppenheim, who wrote the film, spoke with people who actually work in missile defense. They told him the same thing. Even under perfect test conditions, success isn't guaranteed. In the chaos of a real attack, when time and data are uncertain, the odds of stopping a missile mid-flight are frighteningly low. It's a physics problem we might never solve perfectly. If you think that's just theoretical, history says otherwise. There have been multiple moments,
Real moments when the world came within inches of nuclear disaster, all because of false alarms. In October 1960, radar systems in Norway detected dozens of Soviet missiles, apparently heading for the United States. NORAD went to maximum alert. Jets were scrambled, nuclear bombers prepared to take off. But there were no missiles. The system had mistaken the rising moon for an attack. 2 years later, during the Cuban Missile Crisis, a radar operator at a New Jersey station reported that a nuclear strike was minutes away. Panic spread. But again, it wasn't real. A test tape simulating a missile launch from Cuba had been accidentally left running when an actual satellite appeared on the radar, creating what looked like an attack. In 1979, the mistake happened again, this time because a technician accidentally inserted a training tape into a live NORAD computer. The system believed the Soviet Union had launched a massive nuclear strike. Commanders were seconds away from recommending retaliation before they realized it was an error. And in 1983, it was the Soviets' turn. Their early warning satellite system, OCO, reported that 5 U.S. missiles were in the air and heading toward them. One man, Lieutenant Colonel Stanislav Petrov, was on duty that night. By protocol, he should have reported the launch immediately, triggering a counterattack. But something didn't feel right. He went with his gut and chose not to act. He was right. The system had mistaken sunlight reflecting off clouds for missile launches. Petrov's decision might have saved the planet. One human instinct stood between peace and nuclear war. When you see a House of Dynamite, those real stories echo through every frame. The tension doesn't come from explosions or special effects. It comes from knowing that what you're watching has already almost happened. The film's power lies in its realism. There's no villain to defeat, no evil mastermind, just people, systems, and decisions built inside a machine that was designed to protect us but might one day destroy us. Bigelow's direction makes every scene feel suffocatingly real. You can almost feel the weight on the president's shoulders, knowing the fate of millions depends on a decision made in seconds. The movie doesn't tell you what he chooses, because maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe the point is that no one should ever have to make that choice. The movie's message is brutally simple. We've built a world that can end itself faster than we can comprehend. Every nation holding a nuclear weapon is sitting inside that